was your expectations going into the program?
At first, I wasn't 100% sure, but my expectations was just to see how this program could work and if it would work for my son. Before, he would never come out his room. He would always sit in his room, he would always play video games and be happy in his room. Even when little cousins came over, he would just be in his room. They would go up there with him, but he would barely come out, talk to us, socialize. Even when he was in school, he didn't want to be talkative, social, pretty much. And one thing that I did notice is that since the halfway point, I saw him coming out more, talking to us a little bit more, not so much about what was going on in the program, but just like in general, he was in the conversation. He fellowship with not just me, but my niece. He would fellowship with some of my cousins, but it wouldn't just be with video games and stuck in his room. He actually went to a barbecue with me and he wound up going out and playing with all the guys and having a great time. Midway, I saw a nice little change. I was happy. I said, oh, must be working.
Tell me a story about a time when you realized was actually really enjoying the program.
Okay. When I really realized during the program is when he told me thank you. He, like you said, when I put him in different programs, I tried to sign him up for the Fire Explorers program. He looked at me and said, he just looked at me like, no, so didn't go through with it. I signed him up for a program at NASA online, especially when the pandemic hit. They have all these different types of things. So I tried to sign him up for that. He did one day and that was it. But after we did, I think one session with you guys, he came back and told me thank you. And I said, whoa, this is a big difference because he actually must be enjoying himself for him to come and say thank you. And he's been excited. Like he was trying to make sure he had all the games correctly. He was upset when he signed on the wrong sign, and he didn't wanna tell me because he thought I'd be disappointed, but when I talked to him, it was a lot different, like, it wasn't the he's trying to hide himself, it was just like, "Okay," once I said, "Son, you can let me know what's going on with you, and it's okay if you messed up, we all messed up." And that was the beautiful part, is that we were able to talk a little bit more and him not get so frustrated with life. So, I really was really happy with the program because again, he talks to me, he's starting to understand that l life happens, that it's okay to make mistakes because he didn't take those so well, and a lot of the things that I didn't realize that was a problem came out, like I'm saying, I didn't realize that he was taking mistakes so hard, but do whatever the program did, whatever he talked about, he really enjoyed it, and he's just excited. I can say I haven't seen him this happy in a long time, truly happy.
Can you tell me about a time where you realized that he was starting to gain a little bit more confidence?
Confidence in himself, I can see that more now. He tried okay, so this week in general, I know it's a little bit after the program, but just in our family talks, he is more vocal. He's more confident to tell us what's going on. Yesterday, we've been laughing all week and not like laughing at him, but he's been making us laugh because he's like working with kids, mom. They have so many attitudes. And then he was in the middle of it and he was like, wait, that's what you're always saying to me. It's just he's more confident in who he is. And he's thanks, mom, for what you've done for me. And I've never seen it. So when I say that the program is working and confidence and knowing that wait, I can do this, I can do that. These kids are respecting. He's even played basketball this week and made the little kids mad because he can't really play, but he can block. Little kids were so mad. Even one of the little boys came up, he's doing more, he's more confident in who he is. He's actually taking a liking to just doing other things other than sitting in his room. Now he does play his video games, just not as much. So I see the confidence coming out and I see him being stronger in who he is. Just okay, wait, where did this guy come from? He was like, Mom, I didn't realize just the little things that you made us learn how to do, like sweeping. Is a very some of the kids don't know how to sweep and they're older than him. So he's just, "Mom, I can do this." And I'm like, "Okay." So he's really his confidence has really come back, especially with everything that's been going on with him, like I said, personally in our lives. So yeah.
Yeah. When we synced up, you said that it was really the aspect of him having his own space, right?
Oh,
Giving him this home thing
yes.
that allows them to be independent because at age 13, 14, you have high expectation of independence.
Yes, it is a definite big part in his thing. Like you said, I decided not to ask him unless he wanted to tell me because again, this was the only thing that he seemed to like that from a certain time to a certain time, it was his time and nobody could bother him. My mom actually told me a story and she said one day I knocked on the door and he was so mad. I guess it was a little break that he ran down to grandma, I'm on a call. Leave me alone and went back call, and he took it very seriously. Even when I remember one of our last talks, we talked about some things that could possibly happen for him after since he's done the program, and I talked to him about it, and he said, "Mom, I think I can commit to this." So he was more excited to learn that there might be other abilities for him, and he was excited. He tried to think of what I would want to hear, and then he said, "You know what, Mom? I can do this. I can commit." When he said commit, I said, hold up. I don't know where this word came from, but he's a very wordy person. And I know this mommy's not. Sorry. Not the wordy person. But he definitely loves the fact that it's his own thing and that he have to tell me about it unless it has this fellowship right now that he just it's all him and he enjoys that.
You said one time he came to you and said, "Mom, I finally understand NFT."
Oh, yeah, that was because I didn't know what it was either, but he didn't explain it to me, he just said, "I know what it means." "Okay, great." He'll come and tell me little things, like, "Mom, we made our avatar," and he was like, "It was really cool," and then he told me because we were reading about it, that I don't know what NFT means, but then after the meeting, he came back, "Mom, I figured it out. I know what it means." And I'm like, "Okay, great." And he just smiled so hard, and I'm just like, I'm happy that he's smiling and that he had a good time. He loved it. Being a single mom, it's hard. And when you don't know where to go sometimes for a young man that's growing up in this world and society that we have today, it's hard. So I do think that the fact that you guys are online and you play the games and he's with other guys and the mentors, I'm not sure who all they are, but all I know is it's a dose of reality. And like I said, it's just he has where he can trust somebody he can trust. That's how I felt about it. He can trust you guys and he could trust his fellows. So it was just like, okay, great. If that's how you feel, because it's hard when you don't have anybody you can go to or a place that you say that's your own. And it's very hard. Like when you can't feel comfortable talking to some people because you're scared.
What would you say to parents that are maybe like, "Oh, this is like virtual space. This
Right.
is like virtual friendship. It's not a real friendship."
I don't believe in that right now, not in this day and time, not with everything that's been going on. Cause some people still haven't made it back to the actual offices because COVID is real. And I know that for my son who is socially different, this was the best thing for him because he interacted with other people because I felt a little bit better with him being with somebody because we had our first interview together and I saw you face video to video. With seeing you in person, I would rather that than the world of Nintendo that you don't know who he's talking to. Because there's people out there you can just link up with gamers and you don't know what they're going to say to your child. But at least I had a basis of what was going to go down with the program. I didn't know every little thing, but I knew it was a safe place and he felt it. So it's a big difference. Like they can meet the Xboxes, the PlayStation, all of them have online capacity. So it's better to know who they're dealing with, that they're dealing with a responsible an adult and dealing with children that just are probably doing the same thing as your child is already doing and online playing video games with just anybody.
What do you think about the fact that training wheels at some point will have to come off and he will have to navigate digital landscape by himself?
He'll be a little more, not wiser, but a little more like cautious, I believe. Like, you can't just trust everybody because they say something. I've actually, because I do work with children on a regular basis, I do know that some of them have been catfished, and it's very scary, especially when they're 12 and 11 years old and they're out there trying to find somewhere to be. So for me, it's just, okay, I know the reality is going to set in. You got to deal with real people. But if you're in the program, because most of the world is going into this video calling and video conferencing and all of that, it's a little easier knowing that you have some protocol because you've already been through a program that kind of taught you what it's about. So for me, it's just okay, yeah, you have to do it, but at some point, yeah, you gotta be a big boy and go out there and learn. But at the same time, know that there's some safety protocols that are very important.
You talked about like this tribe. Phil's belonged to this digital tribe that were trusted group of peers. He's in fellowship with other
Yeah.
boys. Can you maybe just speak to that a little bit more?
He's the tribe of when you feel like you belong somewhere, it's a big difference from when you don't feel like you belong. You feel like you're an outcast. And he doesn't feel that way anymore, even at home. So for him to feel like that, he can call on his mentor, he can call on his fellows. And that's cute because he could say, hey, my fellows, we did this. He's in a special fraternity, right? For young men to network, to socialize, and to become one. And that's what we all need to be. We all need to feel like we're a part of something. And that's why I say it's like a little tribe and being along because everybody needs that. We all want to feel like we did something important, like we're a part of something important. And this was important for him because again, every day he closed his door at 3 o'clock and did not come out till 4:30. No matter how early dinner was ready for anybody, he was not coming out of that room until his session was over because he felt like he belonged and he felt like he was a part of something really special. And if we interrupted him, he was mad at us.
Is there anything that I should ask you that I didn't ask?
It's just been a great program for it's a great program for young men. It is, especially if they're struggling in any type of area with, how do I say, it, with social skills and just being confident because it's a great problem that's happening today. I'm seeing they either are fighting or they're either not knowing how to interact with each other. And the fact that it can come out and I'm happy.